Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute joy to welcome Maude Moreno, founder of Yoga at Work. She's a registered yoga teacher and a former corporate executive. Twice in her career, she faced health crises that forced her to rethink the pace of life, balance, and well-being. Now she's on an amazing mission to transform workplace wellness through yoga, mindfulness, and movement, helping teams feel energized, focused, and inspired. What more could we want in a workplace? Get ready to explore how we can care for ourselves while still thriving at work. Let's dive in. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Shel Marie. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I don't think I was able to express to you in our previous conversation how thankful and grateful I am that you reached out, that we have connected, and somehow the universe conspired to bridge us together. I'm very happy to be here. And yes, Yoga at Work is my brainchild, my baby. But I'm calling from North Carolina. It's very cold here today. And so if I do a little bit of shivering, just know that that's what's going on. But thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. And one thing that really strikes out to me before we get into everything, I think one thing I really hear from you and what you've created is your passion. And I think that is such a strong asset and clear component in succeeding, I believe, because if you really have that passion and that fuel and people feel that I hate the term, but buy into it, because we can all create these incredible ideas, but if we're doing it just to do it, it's very different to doing it because it's something that you really feel is going to be so much benefit and is going to improve somewhere. So I'd love to know more about how it began.
Yeah, I'm going to go a bit further than passion. And I've actually clarified this with people. Like, this is not just a passion. This is my purpose.
Oof, yes.
To help people. And thank you for the words, because without passion, without that fire, it would be easy to just fold and give up and feel rejected and defeated. And so where this all started is that I was born and raised in the Philippines, or I am born and raised in the Philippines. And I was 25 years old working my usual IT leadership job. I was managing websites, teams. And I was 25 years old. And long story short, when you're 25, you do all the stupid stuff that you are not supposed to do, right? You're 25. And I did all that and still worked as hard as I did. And so I was medically burned out. So not just like, the good old regular burnout. I don't even know what that looks like. But the doctor told me, you're a 25-year-old in a middle-aged person's body.
Oof.
I mean, you don't want your 60-year-old doctor to tell you that.
No.
And I even brought my mom with me because she was just like, something's wrong, something needs to be addressed here. And I actually got misdiagnosed with a heart condition because I would just wake up with these palpitations and not have breakfast and go to the office early, come home late, and then my friends and I, we would just like skimp on dinner, In the Philippines, there's this delicacy called balut, which is like duck embryo. I don't know if you've heard of that. Some people think it's disgusting, but it's a delicacy. And I would just order 4 of those as dinner, not knowing it was so bad for cholesterol and all of these things. So my doctor told me, whatever it is you're doing, you need to stop because you're like a ticking time bomb. My blood pressure was up and I was 25, Shel. So I was scared and said, you might have this heart condition. And so I quit work. I did what he told me to do. And then that's when I discovered yoga. I said, I'm going to take the reins.
Wow.
And so I haven't stopped practicing yoga then. And then I did go back to work, but now in a different term. And then I fast forward how many years? That was 2000 to 2005. I got married and moved to Omaha, Nebraska, which is flat and white during the winter from tropical island in the Philippines.
Wow.
and it was just a total different world. For 2 years, I couldn't work because I was under my husband's visa. So it was very humbling to have this fast-paced job, and then all of a sudden, just do one thing, and it's planning a wedding, our church wedding. So then I continued my yoga journey. In 2012, I already was working, found a job, doing my MBA, graduated my MBA, and I said, the MBA is not the thing. It's not the goal. It's not the raise. It's not the promotion. It's something else. And it was really teaching yoga. And I've been wanting to help people for a long time. The way that yoga helped me, like it really, really saved my life, Shel. Like those episodes that I had where I would just wake up in the ER and not remember a thing right before they said, my head just dropped on the keyboard. I was just working away and bam, it just like went. None of that happened again. So anyway, I'm teaching yoga. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. Everything's good. I'm teaching yoga on the side, working full time. And so my coworkers are still like, do you even get a break? You're like doing these two things. I'm like,
Yeah, it's ironic
crazy.
You say that, because it's almost like, even though it was a positive replacement, you were still burning the wick at both ends. But this time, no, I'm doing it positively. No, it's still you, your body.
It's yoga. I'm good. I'm good because this is
I'm
yoga.
Relaxed.
When you, and when you teach yoga, you're not practicing yoga. First of all, you're not breathing through your nose. You're talking. You're guiding, and it's about the other people, not yourself, right?
Wow.
So in 2015, we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. Better weather. It's still cold, but better weather. And we work from home. I have moved to another company. I still have an IT leadership job. I've always been corporate. And then in 2021, my body just changed. It was the end of 2020, actually, the middle of COVID. And I knew something was wrong. The MRI didn't really show anything in my brain, but it was like I was lightheaded. And, when you wake up and you just realize, oh my God, I'm no longer the same person. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. And I was 44 years old. And
first of all, before you continue, I know you're saying something very powerful, but 44 years old? Are you joking?
Well, then, right? Now I'm 48.
No, you are not. Right. Let me just do a disclaimer here. We don't need to watch the rest of the podcast. Just connect with her, whatever she's doing, rejuvenation, renewal. She was 25 and she had a 60-year-old's body, but now look at her now. So let's just finish the podcast, shall we?
Let's talk about skincare. No, I'm kidding. So I was 44 then. That was 4 years ago. It just different. And anyway, long story short again, turned out to be a neurological anomaly. It's called dysautonomia, and I don't know if you know what that is. It's a dysfunction of the autonomic nervous system.
Oof.
So the autonomic nervous system takes care of things that you don't have to think about, right? The automatic functions: breathing, swallowing, thermal regulation, heart rate, blood pressure. So there's a dysfunction there, and I, to this day, still don't know what triggered it. I wasn't sick. I didn't get any medication, any injections. There's nothing, and it could be perimenopause. Whatever the reason is, it was a real struggle for me to no longer be able to do burpees or do all the crazy things that I did, because I lifted, I danced, I was a gym rat, same time doing yoga, but it's tough to just, like I said, wake up and no longer feel like yourself, and have to hold your husband's hand to go to the bathroom, cannot read, cannot watch TV except just sit and stare because your body just feels different. So anyway, I sought help. But in January 2022 is when I quit my corporate job, because by 11 o'clock, all I wanted to do was sleep. And as a corporate leader, I was the design operations lead for a Fortune 10 healthcare provider. I mean, big company. And it was a big role. I had to facilitate, take the leadership role. And I said, I cannot do this. I am no longer the same person. My stamina is not there. And so I told myself, you know what? I think this is your calling to just stop and just focus
Wow.
on healing. So I again quit my job, but for a very different reason, because now the diagnosis is real
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm 44. So I have wisdom, right? And I know better. So I didn't work for 7 months, Shell. I just told myself, just focus on healing. And to not earn money for that
Mm.
long is weird, very
Yeah.
insecure. What's next for me? And so one day I told my husband, now, okay, I'm managing my symptoms well and better. I'm still not healed, right? Why
Yeah.
would I look for a job, an IT job that's not stressful when they don't exist? I
Mm.
should just focus my yoga teaching on the corporate space and really make it my time. I teach
Yeah.
my way, my schedule, own my space and own my sphere. And I will never forget, it was August 5 of 2022 when it wasn't a dream, Shell. It literally was a thing in my mind that was percolating. Boom, I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to do this. No
Wow.
model, no benchmark, no, no one to mentor me. I did not know
Mm.
anyone who was doing this solo. I have big companies right there that are doing this as a corporation, but as one person,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I started the work, business plan, you know what, Shell? Business plan, you consult with
Mm-hmm.
a few people. And then so I launched, I think in October 3rd in 2022. It was a day that I will never forget because it was a day like, this is the next thing, but it was also a day like, holy, I don't know what I'm doing. I
Wow.
don't even know where to start. Um, so now if you do the numbers, right? I've been in this for a little over 3 years.
Wow.
I'm not gonna mention my age anymore. But I credit that, right? But I credit that to my Asian gene. I mean, we just, whatever it is, the skin, the height and petite, we just look young somehow. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been in this thing for 3 years and I just rebranded to Yoga at Work this January just to have a name that was more straightforward. Right? Yoga and Movement with Maude LLC does not mean anything to anyone. It's too long. It's not straightforward. So I rebranded, have another website. I still teach public classes here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have retreats and workshops and I do all that.
Beautiful.
But then 80% of my company focus is really yoga at work because I was one of them.
Yeah.
Remember, I was
Yeah.
one of those people who had to show up to work, sick parents, sick sister or a sibling. You have
Mm.
your own personal struggles, the self doubt,
Mm.
there's too much going on. But you gotta smile, you
Yeah.
gotta show up, you gotta facilitate these meetings. And eventually it was a diagnosis that I had to carry with me. And it was so hard.
You
So now my
don't.
empathy is in the workplace. So I know it's kind of long, but there
No.
is so much
No.
story in it. Yeah,
No, it's powerful. And
yeah,
there's so
thank you.
much in you sharing that, which is why I believe in the power of not just storytelling because it's your life. Um, there's so many deeper elements to that. So many. So first of all, absolutely why you corrected me about just passion. 100% you can see all the gems and the breadcrumbs leading up to it being your purpose because a passion is very different to an impact, I believe. And you could be passionate about dancing, but that doesn't mean you're going to create an impact. You could passionately dance on your own, but if you're sharing or being of service to someone, that's very different. Like you could just passionately have done yoga, but no, you wanted to implement it because of something you experienced. And when we really have we it's not always great when that happens, but when we really have gone to the depth of it and we have felt that pain or we have felt whatever we've experienced, we then often know what we need to improve in life. And I believe that's what you've done. So there was that element. There's the mindset element. I think we really like brushed over like so much. Wow, your mind, your resilience, your courage Because not only were you then very, I believe, going inward and listening, sorry, excuse me, but you also believed in yourself despite everything externally happening to you, everything you've been told about yourself. You still believed in something greater than yourself and believed that you could change it, and while doing it, help change other people. I think it's incredible. I think it's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I always say passion gets you out of bed and ready.
Yeah.
Purpose gets you doing that 365 days a year.
Yeah,
You know, when you know what your purpose is, like I was put on this earth for this.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of commitment. And it's also the kind of commitment where you know, I don't have to force this.
Yeah.
Because you know, you don't have to prove that I have this energy, I have this passion, I have this talent. You just know whether I'm at the grocery store, whether I'm at the gas station, whether I'm at the restaurant. If my purpose is to help people breathe better, become better breathers, better movers, and make healthier decisions during the workday, doesn't matter where I am. It's the same story because I carry with me my purpose, right? Passion is like you said, energy towards something. But when you know you're making an impact, or you just know why you're put on this earth, it does hit different. And it didn't occur to me until later, where people will just tell me, like, where do you get your energy from? Like, how did you come up with this? And I was struggling to explain because I'm like, it's not a fire kind of thing. It's not there's a fire in me. It's not that at all. You can put out a fire, but it's who I am. I feel like this is why I was put on this earth. And so when you have that path, you're sort of unwavering despite the ups and downs. And it's not, you know this, child, it's not easy being a solo business person today. The walls that I experienced trying to offer my service or sell my service, and the HR person says, I believe in what you're doing, but my CFO thinks wellness is woo-woo. Or I don't think we have the budget, or our priorities are different. It's almost like it's a reminder to me every time I get rejection. Like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah, because we need it more.
Yes, there's still a lot of people hung up on like return of investment, when really it's the value of the investment. You want healthier employees. You want healthier people, because if they're not healthy, guess what? Your cost of insurance is going to go high. And that's just even one aspect. And so I just have to be, to come up with different approaches depending on who I talk to. I also tell people, you know, if you're not ready for this right now, I completely understand. But with the state of the world right now, your employees, by the time they're working, are carrying a 5-ton baggage that you have no idea about, right? They're caregivers. They are spending time calling doctors to schedule appointments. The person that's folding laundry and the person that's replying to emails are the same person. There's no delineation, and COVID made sure that we saw that you're the same person, you're the same unit, the same body. And that's what I kind of talk to people about. And sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it takes a while. But I keep fighting the fight. So that's kind of where I am.
I love that. I think you just said something really powerful as well, because it really shows when you can see beyond what is being presented to you and see the wider vision. Because a lot of people could see that straight away as, oh, this is not in high demand. Whereas no, it's something that is new. And when there's change and something's new, people straight away, whoa, you know? And they'll have that, but how, what, this, that, they can't comprehend sometimes the way. And that's why I also love what you mentioned of you come and you are flexible, you are adaptable. Because again, if you come in and this is the way I do it in my business, well, that again is not going to work. Like, even if you have to, and I would love you to expand more on this in a minute, but even if you have to go in to start with okay, I'll offer it at lunchtimes, or I offer it just to show the impact of what is happening to
Yeah.
their well-being. Sometimes,
Yeah.
it's not going to be the way you expect it to look, but you have to
Correct.
sometimes come in to show the results, because it's a business, show the results in order for people to invest.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head, because all my sessions are bespoke. I will never teach the same class to like a team of accountants
Yeah.
compared to a company who has, they do lumber, and so their people are very, they have neck pain, they have wrist pain. And
Mm.
so even my services are different, right? It's not just yoga, but I do movement therapy, which are
Yes.
things you would typically do as rehab, like in a PT's clinic.
Mm.
But if you're going to be a die cut person, a lumberjack, whatever it is, and you're working with your hands,
Yes.
then we're going to spend time doing wrist stuff, neck stuff. So it's a different approach each time. And that's the thing too, when you talked about flexibility and adaptability. I have to be, just like you have to be every time you get on this call with someone,
Mm-hmm.
there is always space for movement, right?
Yeah.
And I make not just physical movement in my body, but in my relationships with people, in that a rejection, a no, a not now, is not necessarily the end of the story, right? They're just not in a place to receive. Not yet, right? To receive it right now. But in the end, a lot of them do come back and say, hey, can we try something out? And so you asked me to elaborate on that a little bit. And that's what I do, is I give people a taste of what it is.
Yes.
So yoga work is very low barrier to no barrier of entry, right? You're not ready to commit. Let's do 15 minutes whenever it works for you.
Yes.
And then let's see how people feel, right? If they absolutely hate it or whatever, let's do a survey and whatnot. And some people will say, let's do this 4 more times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And some people will say, let's have an event. Let's make this big. Show up to our corporate wellness event. Can you speak in front of us, on a stage in front of people? Beautiful. And so then comes those little windows of opportunity. But I've got to show the way in bite-sized pieces, so it's consumable. Not only consumable, but it can be experienced by anyone, beginner or novice or experienced person, say, oh, that 10 minutes of meditation, that 10 minutes of breath work really felt good in my body. I want more of that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the team members do the lobbying and the influencing and say, hey, I want more of that. Or sometimes it's the HR person or the team leader says, team, we're going to do this despite being busy with all these projects. We need to do this because we are busy with all these projects. And so now they get to make that decision, right? But at the start, they just have to have a taste of it. Absolutely. Low commitment, low barrier. Yeah, because like I said, I just want to help. I just want to help people. So let me show you the way, and and you'll be able to respond accordingly. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think again, you just said something really really beautiful, which was I think often, again, when you come and it's yoga at work, people are only going to have an opinion based on their own knowledge. People only know what they know. So for example, if they've only ever experienced a meditation class that lasted a whole hour and they were like, oh, they're going to remember that. But like what you just said, it could be a quick 5 minutes doing this, a quick 10 minutes doing that, because you tailor it and you customize it to again, it could be a big project happening here, but then maybe this week isn't so intense. So again, I think that's amazing what you're saying. And naturally, if you're going to go into a workplace, you can't, as you so beautifully expressed, you can't just go in and just be like, okay, right, I'll do exactly what I did last time. You need to know what is happening in that workplace, what's going on, what the ethos is.
Yes.
Is there a big deadline coming up, or are they starting a new project? What area of the body right now, or the mind, really needs, fueling, essentially. So, or opposite, minimizing.
For sure. And it's part of the intake process, right? I ask questions about, is English the first language?
Again, a really powerful question.
Yes, anybody on a wheelchair. Is this, it has to be mobility, a limited mobility, accessible. Who's taking the class? And some companies want it to be equitable, so no matter where they are, remote, work or distributed
Wow.
workspaces, they can take it. Some of them say, let's do one remote, but then
Yeah.
come to the office for the in-person thing, in
Yeah.
case they're here in Charlotte. So, all like you said, the dynamics and the dynamism of not just what I do, being movement and breath and
Mm-mm-mm.
mindfulness, it has to translate in the business. I have to be
Absolutely.
adaptable. I have to be able to pivot and switch and meet people halfway, whether it's
Mm-mm.
budget or location. I was teaching, my client is a company, one of them is a company that serves patients with, say, mental illnesses, and some of
Mm.
them severely autistic and whatnot. And while I served their staff, I was
Yeah.
asked to serve their patients. And now I'm no
Wow.
longer teaching to my clients, but teaching to their clients. And so evolving so that I did a sound bath with people that had severe autism,
Wow.
not knowing, are they going to receive the sound? Are they going to be able to sit and listen?
Mm.
And with the advice of somebody who used to work there, said, you know what? Go around and just play around them, and
Wow.
just go behind them. And so now I'm also learning from people. This is what works for
Yeah.
them. I
Yeah.
could never force my knowledge and my wisdom on people. It's more what works for you. And
Mm-mm.
so now I'm doing something I'd never done before, which is to play an instrument, walking around behind people, because
Beautiful.
that's how they received sound. Instead of the usual, I'll be in front, do my sound bowls and
Mm-mm.
things like that. So it's adaptability is big, flexibility, but you know what? I also learned empathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just knowing what it's like to have to sit in your chair, work all day, and
Mm-hmm.
for someone to say, "Hey, we're gonna do this for 15 minutes with this girl and whatever," and you're like, "What? I work out. I walk my dogs before I work. I'm a wellness person." So for
Yeah.
somebody to inject something during the workday and say, "No, you need this in your 8 to 5 because
Yeah.
that's when you're most stressful," some people resist that. They just want to have lunch in front of the
Mm.
computer by themselves without talking. And now
Yeah.
you're asking me to move and breathe. Like, so yeah, there is always that. It keeps my work interesting, keeps me humble,
Mm.
right? If this was easy, there would be thousands and thousands and thousands of me. But I literally don't know anyone doing what I'm doing
No?
as a solo person, uh, which is
No,
kind of
well, that's why
beautiful,
I wanted to
challenging at the
speak to
same time.
you because I saw you and I was like, wow, I want to speak to this lady. Like, this is incredible. And I love what
Thank you.
you said about remote as well. So, because obviously a lot of
Yeah,
people will be globally listening right now. So I want,
yeah,
I don't want them to switch off now. Well, I don't live there, So just if there's anything you
yeah.
want to share on that, feel free.
Yes, thank you for doing that. So 90% of my work is actually done virtually because of that. It has to be equitable to everyone, and companies are now more and more conscious about that,
Mm.
that the people in the distributed environments don't feel less favored than the people in the corporate headquarters or, on site.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, right before this podcast, I was teaching to a law firm. They could be anywhere else in the world. They have offices in London and New York and whatnot. And so anyone can watch it. So even though people who were taking my class
Wow.
would have been mostly East Coast, but the awareness that anyone could just take this anytime, even after work, they could if they had access. I just have to be conscious about that. Like, people are coming in different times of the day, but this will be something that they will benefit regardless of where they are in your life. And I have to remind myself, if someone just told me, "Ma, do these 15 minutes," I would have avoided those panic attacks that I was having. Waking up in the
Mm.
ER with my mom at the foot of the bed, and she's just like, maybe a low potassium, but that's it. They couldn't find out what was happening to
Wow.
me. If somebody could have just told me, hey, you're kind of working too much, or prioritize your breakfast, or
Mm,
hydrate, or take a
mm.
walk. At 25 years old, if somebody would have just told me that, I may have avoided those episodes. But that path had to happen to
Absolutely.
get me here.
Yeah.
And I could be that catalyst for people to say, this is how you avoid a heart attack.
Absolutely.
This is how you avoid a panic attack. Yes.
But that's the thing, and like what we say, you know, we'd all love to just really be, as you say, passionate and have the boom, oh, the idea, and be really fueled and whatever. But often the reason why these things really come out into light and you feel, I know you said about the fire and that, but you really believe in what you're doing is because you know what it's like to have not experienced it. And that's why
Right.
your talks are powerful, and I can see why they want you to come in and speak, because it isn't just, oh, you know, I would like to do this and I think it'd be good for you. You have
Yes.
your journey, your path. You have like, listen guys, I'm not just coming in to say, oh, this would be nice for you. I'm telling you, I was in this situation, this happened to me, and you know, I can tell you now that this has happened in my life, this has changed because of it. And that's powerful. So not just the
Yes.
what you're implementing, but the powerful words behind what you're implementing, I believe.
Thank you. And not to brush through the thing that you were talking about, I have a YouTube channel where I taught chair yoga, right? So I'm teaching chair yoga, all these classes. It was over COVID. And then I got sick. So guess what, Shel? I could only do chair yoga.
Yeah.
I couldn't do a squat, you know?
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, so I'm finally taking my own class, not because, oh,
Yes.
it's nice, because that's really all I could do.
Yeah.
Oh my, you know, you have an idea how humbling it is to put out material out there. Like you said, it's good for you. This is great. But to now be the person to go to YouTube and say, this is all I can do.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. It just hit me at the time, like, it's either funny, a full circle moment, or the universe is just like telling me, like, stay the course. There's a reason why you got here. And so to be, like you said, to be that person who needed the thing that I now offer, it was truly, truly very humbling. And it's not just, I'm a yoga teacher and I think this is cool. It's like, I live that. I know how it feels like to be there and have to smile and facilitate. And then after the meeting's done, you're just like, oh my God, all I want to do is just melt and get under a blanket and just like sleep or nap. So yeah, the empirical part of it is definitely not something that I consider I can just shortcut into as part of my storytelling. It is the meat of my storytelling. I'm here because I've lived it.
And thank you so much for mentioning that, because I think, again, like what you say, wisdom, sometimes we do have to be that version who doesn't have any idea why we're doing what we're doing. And even with this, you know, oh, I'm speaking to people, but I'm 100% constantly speaking to a mirror of myself every single time. and
well, I think it's lovely because you come in fresh and you're like, don't tell me your story. Tell the story when you're almost like learning along with everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's a different skill in your brain to just turn on and just be genuinely interested in someone whose story you don't fully know. You're just there to listen. So I appreciate that about you, to just be receptive of things. Yeah.
And I purposely, and it's not out of not respecting my guests. If anything, it's, I believe, being more present and in the moment of, even though I ask for the bios, I literally do that just before I connect with you, because I don't want to know. I don't want to research you. I want to be that open book. I want to be curious. I want to know everything about you. And I think that's when you really get the authenticity. So.
Right. No, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. It's been such a pleasure. You've really shared so much, and I love all that you're doing. And of course, if there's anything that you feel anyone listening right now would benefit from knowing, like how they can get in touch with you? Obviously, I'll put all your contact details, so don't worry about saying all the email addresses and stuff. But if you have anything
Yeah.
coming up or anything you feel like people listening would really benefit from, please feel free to share it.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do have a few things, and I'm gonna just capitalize on this one thing. I came up with an online course, an online class that is specifically designed for people in leadership roles or anybody in influential roles. It's called the Grounded Edge. It's basically a wellness driven course towards influential leadership. So it's basically focusing on becoming a better leader using
Beautiful.
wellness tools, nervous system regulation, breathing and movement, and all of that. But all science backed, all proven, right? The science doesn't lie, the data is there. And I'm actually announcing this on December 9th, which is tomorrow on LinkedIn. Oh. But I'm coming up with a free leader circle a month later, January 9th. Mm-hmm. It will be, I don't want to call it a workshop. It's a leader circle where there's conversation about struggles in leadership.
Yeah.
What are areas in your leadership that actually paid the price for how you're leading? Could be your body, could be your health, could be your relationships, things like that. And just have a conversation among leaders or people in influential roles. Wow. Where we can have an honest conversation of what can we do to change that, right? There's a pattern here. People are overworking or whatever that may be. I don't want to preempt the conversation. Mm-hmm. But the leader circle is going to be on January 9th, and I will be announcing tomorrow. Yeah. So I even thought about it. I'm like, I'm talking to Shel in the 8th. But I'm announcing it exactly a month before. So I would just love for people to be able to join. I'll be announcing this on LinkedIn, and of course telling, a few of my friends, I want this to be not a big thing, but maybe 10, 15 people would be great, just so there is safety and honesty and a little bit of an intimate experience there. Amazing. I'll be announcing that. And yes, I know you're going to put on your show notes, like the email and my website. But truly, if you are someone listening and you've always doubted, like, I want to try this experience with my team or with even with a small group of people of 3, but I don't know if this will work. It will work, because 90% of what I do is done over Zoom. I do all the heavy lifting, and it has changed people's lives. Amazing. Like, it's not just a session and then it's silence. I always hear from someone, oh, this changed things for me, or thank you for doing this. I was about to have a difficult conversation with someone, but you taught me how to ground myself for 60 seconds. Imagine if everybody in the world just knew how to do that. Absolutely. Right? How much road rage we would avoid.
Yeah.
Conversations would probably be better, more grounded.
Yeah, absolute big call for it. The more I'm speaking to you, the more I'm wishing that you were on my panel discussion about conscious leadership. We literally touched on all of this recently, which is all going to be released soon. I 100% believe there needs to be more for the mind, particularly. And as I know, it's mind, body, and as you just beautifully said, that there's yoga and going to a yoga class, but there's a very difference in someone saying, so next time you have that call, you can incorporate this into, or well, next time you're in this situation. That's very different to going in and just doing a class, being intentional and having a purpose behind what people are implementing. And that's why you're doing it at work, because there's more. It's not just yoga at work. You have a very, very powerful intention behind why you're doing what you're doing. I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
Just before you go, if there's anything that you feel anyone listening right now would benefit from hearing, what would you tell them? Anything at all that just comes to your mind.
Your body is the biggest and most important thing that you will ever have to manage. Mm-hmm. Your health, your body, this vessel, despite all the work that you're doing, this is the most important, because without this, there is no that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was straight away what I heard when you said, about the people, and then saying, Oh no, but numbers and we haven't got time for this. No, these are people with vessels that need to be strong, healthy, and healthy minds. You should be
Yes.
definitely investing into the well-being
Investing.
of yourself. Absolutely. It's
Absolutely.
been such a
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you so much, my darling. I've loved connecting with you, and yeah, thank you. Really, what a beautiful conversation we've just had. And I know many will listen to this, and it's definitely planted lots of seeds. And all the best with your launches. And I'm excited for you and how much you're going to keep evolving and developing and expanding.
Thank you. And same to you as well. Keep doing the good work with the Zest to Zen. I mean, that could have been my company name. I wanted to steal it. Like, that is so cool. Zest to Zen is just so cool because it's yoga at work, you're Zen on the job. And I was like, this is great. Like, your mission is awesome. And just bringing people together and storytelling and having people like me tell our story is such a privilege and honor. So thank you, thank you, thank you
Oh,
from the bottom of my heart.
thank you, darling. Thank you.